ICE is now on the lookout for a suspect who fled during a recent enforcement stop, after allegedly driving his vehicle toward federal officers. The incident has triggered an active manhunt, with Immigration and Customs Enforcement now working alongside local authorities to locate the individual. Such encounters are raising serious questions about officer safety and the growing number of high-risk confrontations during enforcement operations. In this video, we'll walk you through exactly what happened, where it took place, and how ICE is responding. We'll also explore the rise in similar incidents across the country, how these confrontations are impacting federal operations, and the growing public concern over officer safety and enforcement challenges. But before we move further, if you believe real change is happening and want to stay informed, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Let's dive in. According to ICE Denver, the incident occurred in Black Forest, a rural area north of Colorado Springs, Colorado, during a federal immigration enforcement operation. The suspect, Jose Mendez Chavez, allegedly attempted to drive his vehicle toward ICE officers before fleeing the scene, though no injuries were reported. Mendez Chavez, a Mexican national, is now the subject of an active manhunt and, according to ICE, has had multiple prior removals from the United States. A second individual in the vehicle, Francisco Zapata Pacheco, was taken into custody at the scene. The operation was part of ongoing efforts by ICE to locate individuals with outstanding removal orders. Authorities are intensifying the manhunt for Jose Mendez Chavez, deploying a coordinated effort involving both federal agents and local law enforcement in El Paso County, according to local news reports. Shortly after the incident, a temporary shelter-in-place advisory was issued in surrounding neighborhoods as teams began canvassing the rural terrain of Black Forest, including wooded areas, side roads, and residential properties. Agents have reportedly reviewed traffic camera footage and license plate reader data in hopes of tracking his vehicle or identifying possible escape routes. Door-to-door inquiries and interviews with nearby residents have also been conducted to gather potential sightings or tips. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is assisting ICE with surveillance operations, and public safety alerts have been circulated to keep nearby communities informed. As of now, Mendez Chavez remains at large, and authorities say the investigation and search will continue until he is located. The confrontation in Black Forest is not an isolated event. Rather, it underscores a broader pattern of increasing tension and risk for immigration enforcement officers nationwide. Over the past year, ICE agents have experienced a noticeable rise in high-stakes situations, with more encounters becoming unpredictable or escalating quickly. These range from traffic stops where suspects suddenly flee, to home visits that turn hostile when individuals resist arrest, barricade themselves, or attempt to escape. While not every operation ends in violence, officials say the margin for error has narrowed. In many cases, agents are dealing with individuals who have multiple prior removals, outstanding criminal warrants, or a history of evading law enforcement, all factors that raise the likelihood of confrontation. Recent internal ICE reports indicate a marked increase in suspects attempting to use their vehicles to evade capture. In several cases, agents were forced to dodge reversing or accelerating cars, a tactic that not only endangers the officers but also risks bystander safety. This growing threat landscape has pushed ICE to implement stricter safety protocols and expand tactical training for field teams. Field offices across multiple states are reporting a shift in operational planning, with backup teams, aerial surveillance, and rapid response units being deployed more frequently during seemingly routine enforcement efforts. Public statements from ICE leadership have also acknowledged this shift, citing the increasing complexity of apprehending non-citizens with extensive criminal or immigration violation histories. The agency has stressed that while its mission remains the same, enforcing federal immigration law, the environment in which its officers operate has become significantly more volatile. This has prompted calls from within the agency for greater resources, additional protective gear, and expanded interagency cooperation with local police departments. Ultimately, as incidents like the one in Black Forest show, the job of ICE officers is becoming more dangerous, not just because of the individuals they pursue, but because of a broader shift in how those individuals now respond when faced with arrest. While there has been no formal statement from the White House specifically addressing the Black Forest incident, the Trump administration has made its broader stance on immigration enforcement increasingly clear in recent weeks. President Trump has called for a significant expansion of ICE operations, urging the agency to double its workforce and ramp up deportations to what he described as record-setting levels. In public rallies and social media posts, he's praised ICE agents as patriots and vowed to crack down harder on those defying removal orders, especially repeat offenders and those with criminal backgrounds. Homeland Security officials, aligned with Trump's priorities, have also pointed to a rise in confrontational or evasive encounters during arrests, describing the situation as a growing threat environment that justifies increased security protocols and tactical shifts. Though the White House hasn't commented directly on vehicle-related evasion attempts or threats to ICE agents, the overall tone from the administration has been one of support for aggressive enforcement and zero tolerance toward interference in immigration operations. This broader context continues to shape ICE's field activity, even in the absence of a specific federal statement on recent incidents. Local and national Democratic voices have reacted strongly to ICE's recent enforcement actions and the escalating manhunt. In Colorado, Attorney General Phil Weiser, a Democrat, filed a lawsuit against a Mesa County Sheriff's deputy for allegedly cooperating with ICE in violation of state privacy laws, part of a broader effort to restrict local collaboration with federal immigration enforcement. On the federal level, a group of 12 House Democrats, including Representatives Joe Neguse and Jason Crow from Colorado, have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration. They challenge a new policy requiring 7 days' notice before congressional visits to ICE facilities, a measure they argue undermines oversight and transparency concerning detainee welfare and facility conditions. These actions reflect a clear pattern. Democratic officials and local leaders in Colorado are actively pushing back on what they view as overreach in federal enforcement, emphasizing constitutional rights, local autonomy, and public safety concerns. Public reaction to incidents like the Black Forest encounter has become deeply divided, reflecting broader national tensions over immigration enforcement. On one side, many Americans, particularly those who prioritize border security, view such operations as necessary and support ICE officers who put themselves at risk to carry out arrests. They express frustration when suspects with multiple prior removals or criminal records evade capture, and believe more robust enforcement is needed to prevent further breakdowns in the system. These supporters often point to rising concerns over national security and law and order, especially when officers are placed in harm's way during routine stops or home visits. However, critics, including immigrant rights organizations, some Democratic officials and community leaders, see these incidents as indicative of a flawed and overly aggressive enforcement strategy. They argue that ICE's tactics, especially in neighborhoods, which critics say creates distrust among immigrant communities, even among legal residents. Public concern grows particularly when operations unfold near homes, schools, or workplaces. As these incidents become more visible, they continue to fuel debates not just about ICE, but about the overall direction of U.S. immigration policy. Moving forward, authorities plan to continue using traffic camera feeds, license plate readers, and drone surveillance to track the fugitive, while also maintaining community alert systems and tip lines through local news and public channels. With federal law enforcement coordination underway, the suspect's profile is expected to be shared across national databases, and agencies in neighboring states may be alerted to monitor for his vehicle or known associates. If Jose Mendez Chavez is located in the coming weeks, he will likely face federal charges, including assault on a federal officer and immigration-related offenses. At the same time, ICE is reportedly reviewing enforcement procedures in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security, particularly for high-risk operations in rural or residential areas, amid concerns over a sharp rise in assaults on agents. Meanwhile, Francisco Zapata Pacheco, who was apprehended at the scene, remains in ICE custody as both immigration and potential criminal proceedings move forward. What do you think about these operations? Make sure to tell us in the comments. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on immigration, enforcement actions, and U.S. policy changes. Thanks for watching.